Your conscious mind is not revising your story properly. The hurt is still there. So, you need to get your new story right. For 4 consecutive days, sit down and write about what is bothering you for 20 minutes straight. Your spelling can be atrocious. That's okay. Nobody's going to read it. Even you are not going to read it. The magic is in the writing itself. And when you're done, delete it or just rip it up. This simple act can help you make sense of tragedy and set your mind at ease. So, if there is something troubling you, some traumatic event that you have had trouble moving past, take out a piece of paper and just write about your deepest feelings about this event, typically for 20 minutes, 4 nights in a row. The reason it can be so beneficial is that it forces you to view things from a different perspective. In fact, it is suggested that one of the best ways to do this is to write in the third person, as an outside observer would, viewing your situation. That encourages you to take an objective look at your situation and often to come up with a somewhat different interpretation of it that allows you to move on. Some of you may still be skeptical or feel these strategies won't work, and maybe you are right. So, what keeps us motivated when we are under the most intense pressures imaginable and nothing seems to be working right? It is the little things. You see, goals are great, but big ones are abstract, far away, and sometimes hard to relate to. And it can take months or years to achieve something big. The secret is to celebrate small wins. Those little achievements you can see day to day. Anything that went well or worked out. Don't take that good presentation or minor achievement for granted. That's progress. And paying attention to those can keep you trucking when you're feeling less than motivated. What is unique about small wins is they can cascade. One can lead right into another. The research on motivation is clear. Small wins are a big deal. Taking a moment to appreciate the little good things that happen is far more motivating than thinking you need to win that Nobel Prize or Academy Award before you're allowed to be happy. Olympic swimmers use small wins to make it through months of rigorous training. The research on happiness agrees too. Lots of little good things beat infrequent great things when it comes to how good we feel about ourselves. Also, a research on people's inner work lives seem to lift or drag depending on whether or not their projects moved forward, even by small increments. Small wins often had a surprisingly strong positive effect, and small losses a surprisingly strong negative one. Now, you are going to understand how a role model can influence you. When you study kids who grew up in impoverished circumstances but go on to live productive, healthy lives, what do you find? They had great role models who provided a positive example and supported them. A researcher followed the lives of children who were raised in impoverished homes with an alcoholic, abusive, or mentally ill parent. He observed that resilient children, the ones who grew up to be productive, emotionally stable, and healthy adults, had at least one person in their lives who truly supported them and served as an admired role model. Conclusion is that all of the resilient individuals have role models whose beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors inspire them. But sometimes it is hard to find people we know we want to be like. That's okay. It's often enough to have bad role models. People who provide an example of what you don't want to be. Although we generally think of role models as providing positive examples to admire and emulate, in some cases, a particular person may stand out in the opposite way, embodying traits we emphatically do not want to have. We can think of such a person as a negative role model. So, maybe you are doing all of these things and are well on your way, which is great, but you cannot do it alone. Who will help you? You will find out in the next video. Thank you guys for listening.